and become known throughout the galaxy.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilization, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
In 1966, that famous opening phrase really wasn't that far from the truth. The world had had just a taste of the real space program. The Russians had sent the first man to venture out into the great unknown, and a number of probes had already been launched. But it would be 3 years before Neil Armstrong would set foot on the surface of the moon, and over 10 years before the first space shuttle would be launched. Star Trek arrived on the scene at a time when people were just beginning to realize the importance of the space program.
I think that we all owe a great debt to the original Star Trek and the present one, to elevating the public's consciousness about what the future might be.
But despite its worthy aspirations, Star Trek's 5-year mission was cut short when NBC pulled the plug after only 79 episodes. The show was critically maligned and constantly lagged behind in the ratings. In fact, Variety called it dreary and confusing and said it would never work. NBC wanted to cancel the show after only 2 seasons, but a massive letter-writing campaign convinced the network to give the struggling series a second shot. But even the support of fanatical followers couldn't save the primetime turkey, and on September 2nd of 1969, the USS Star Trek ship flew its last mission. On the small screen, that is.
For the next decade, Star Trek lingered in sci-fi limbo. But massive merchandising and die-hard devotees kept the Star Trek spirit alive. In the 70s, Star Trek mania was growing at such a massive rate that in 1976, NASA named its first space shuttle Enterprise, after the famed vessel that transported Captain Kirk and company to the stars. Many harbored hopes for a Trek revival.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
In the late 70s, with the sci-fi successes of films like Star Wars and Close Encounters, Paramount Pictures decided that it was time to let the Enterprise fly again, this time on the silver screen. Movie expert Dana Hersey has his own speculations as to why the crew of the Enterprise took to the stars once again.
It was lack of work anywhere else.
Not
I mean, no, I mean, how many of those guys had you seen doing anything else? Ever, including Shatner, who, in fact, for a while was going around to one small dingy nightclub after another, reading Shakespeare. I mean, he had an album out, in fact. Does he have an album out? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. William Shatner's Shakespeare.
Star Trek, the motion picture, wasn't exactly a box office bonanza, but it was popular enough to spur on 5 sequels, which were fan faves, and to date have grossed over $100.
This is the Starship Enterprise. We've been ordered to escort you to your meeting on Earth.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
The films were so successful, in fact, that in the late 80s, Star Trek auteur Gene Roddenberry created Star Trek: The Next Generation, instantly taking a whole new age of fans where they had never gone before. In 1993, a third Star Trek series came into existence depicting life on a space station known as Deep Space Nine. The series' main star is Renee Auberjonois, who you might remember as the irrepressible Clayton from TV's Benson.
You must be concerned about the colony's security at a time like this.
So now we know just how popular Star Trek has become since its blast-off in the mid-60s. Well, what's made this little show such a big success over the past 3 decades?
It's a cultural phenomenon. I think people are always going to be interested in what things that are happening in outer space, and they want to actually have the chance to explore different things.
Star Trek came along and I think captured everybody's imagination in a very plausible way. People actually felt we would be, traversing certain galaxies and meeting aliens. And then, of course, it incorporated this whole idea that there was evil out there still, but nevertheless, most of the peaceful nations on Earth, not only our own planet, but all of the other planets, had gotten together. And we were all these interplanetary species had gotten together for world peace and exploration. I mean, the Great Federation. So that it kind of captured this whole philosophical idea that people wanted. It worked on a number of levels, I think.
It's obvious that many fans go for super lasers and computers, ghosts, goblins, and other frightening aliens. But what is alien to no Star Trek lover is the appeal of this particular program. And these fans are definitely devoted. Be they followers of the original Star Trek or of the subsequent Trek generations, one need not look further than a sci-fi convention to find proof of the show's eternal life. Trek aficionados make their pilgrimage to conventions to hang out with their own species for a while, and at the same time indulge in their fancy for collecting crap.
I got some action figures that I collect, and I got a couple of pictures and a couple autographs today.
In my time, I've been going to different Star Trek conventions over the years, and I've met a few of the cast members. Marina, who plays Counselor Deanna Troi, I haven't met her yet, and she was a pleasure to meet.
The first Star Trek convention took place in 1972. It was only expected to draw a few hundred fanatical followers, but instead over 2,000 showed up. That's a lot of Romulan ale. In 1973, a second convention was held, and this time over 7,000 Star Trekkers ate a slice of the sci-fi pie. Today, there are dozens of conventions held each year, complete with shows, exhibits, merchandise, collectibles, celebrity guests, and some very attentive attendees. Who are you exactly?
I'm Dugan, son of Imal, captain of the Plach, of Cronus.
Right. And you're a Klingon. Now, how do you feel about the Federation?
Me, personally, they are men with honor, unlike Romulans.
Oh, you're a Romulan, is that right? What are they exactly?
Romulans.
What in the heck are you?
I'm a Vedic from Bajor. We're the spiritual leaders of Bajor.
Wow, and how you liking the Star Trek convention today?
Well, it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. It's especially more fun when you come dressed properly.
Can you say something for us in Klingon language?
I sure can. This is a Klingon toast. Fulaj Jock Jock, which means may your blood boil. Another one is Kokiksones Taraknan, which means I am honored to meet you.
Thank you very much. Well, L'chaim.
Whether they're Klingon, Romulan, or Ferengi, one thing that all these fans favor is the positive points that this popular prodigy portrays.
I like the ideals, the values, the ethics of the show. The fact that there is a future for humankind. Sometimes I doubt that.
I think what it is that when they were writing these scripts, they were thinking of the future, and a lot of the stuff that's been done on Star Trek in the 60s and 70s are coming true. I mean, we landed on the moon. We do have spaceships, and I think eventually it is going to come true. And I think it is the future.
I think that it's really good, though, that there's not really any racism or anything in the 24th century as opposed to the 20th.
Hope for the future. It presents a positive outlook of what our future could be like, and it shows that we've progressed beyond some of the petty little things that we hold dear today. They're not quite as commercial. Money isn't as important. Hunger is abolished. And not only are we getting along from race to race, we're getting along from planet to planet.
Of course, you don't have to appreciate Star Trek's social messages to be a fan. All you really have to do is enjoy the phenomenon.
Hey, do you guys like Star Trek?
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh.
Why do you like Star Trek?
Well, because there's always neat shows, and because it's interesting.
Young or old, one thing that all Star Trekkies would no doubt love is to fly through the cosmos with everybody's favorite spaceship captain, Bill Shatner.
Do you think you'd want to hang out with William Shatner? Maybe throw back a few Romulan ales with him? Or...
Yeah.
William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, they're the best.
Do you have dreams of being like Captain Kirk?
I have had dreams about being Captain Kirk and Captain Picard and those people, yeah.
I've never so disappointed an actor in my life. And that's true, even today, that he remains one of the most major disappointments. I sat down opposite him, and the guy was taking himself so seriously, it was ludicrous. I mean, he was saying things to me like, well, I don't really consider television actors to be real actors. I think actors have to really spend a lot of time on stage before they really... I mean, you couldn't get through to the guy. You couldn't... I mean, he just didn't want to talk, you know? I mean, it was amazing to me. And I had seen him making a complete fool of himself with his pants around his ankles on this Canadian pantomime show 30 years ago.
Double dumbass on you!
Bill Shatner? No, I wouldn't want to hang around with him for a long time, no.
Why's that?
Well, some of the things that he said, about people who, the Star Trek followers. I don't know if you saw Saturday Night Live when he was on the show.
Having received all your letters over the years, and I've spoken to many of you, and some of you have traveled, hundreds of miles to be here, I'd just like to say, get a life, will you, people? I mean, for crying out loud, it's just a TV show. I mean, look at you. Look at the way you're dressed. You've turned an enjoyable little job that I did as a lark for a few years into a colossal waste of time. I mean, how old are you people? What have you done with yourselves? You must be almost 30. Have you ever kissed a girl?
No, it was scary fat people in those Lycra unitards that really frightened me, especially the ones with like the thyroid problems. I have this rule I would make that they can't make uniforms any size larger than a child.
Boy, we sure did have fun at that Star Trek convention today, did we not, Noah?
We sure did, Matt. That convention was ahead warp factor 9.
Yes, I think we learned a lot about Star Trek, the fans who love it, and the items that they collect, don't you think?
Chuck, two, mean, more, Chuck.
Come again?
Oh, I'm sorry. That means a day without secrets is like a night without stars.
How quite profound, but I didn't know you spoke Klingon.
Oh, I didn't. Until I got this tape, that is. It's called Power Klingon, and it's just one of the millions of items that's currently flooding collectors' markets.
Very interesting, but what does that have to do with the conventions?
Well, nothing really, but it does set up this next segment on merchandising quite well. These buttons will look swell on your denim jacket, right next to your Where's the Beef pin. No kid could get bored playing the Star Trek board game.
Everything adds up when you use this Treculator on a math test. Problems at work? Take out your frustrations on your Spock Bop Bag.
The time is always right for a Star Trek clock. Relive that super groovy mission to Gamma 6 over and over again with this nifty playset.
No, you're an author, and this candid look into the life of Leonard Nimoy should be enough to satisfy any Spock Grocker. This we have no idea. Sorry.
Ich wissen und mein Simon. Translation? All countries love Star Trek. If your starship needs a new warp drive, then you may want to pick one up with the Star Trek credit card.
Dig those crazy prizes. When Class Picture Day rolls around, be sure and wear your Star Trek belt. It'll look good with your velour V-neck.
Are your dolls getting a bit bored? Then buy them toys like the Star Trek screen console. We don't know what this is.
Your meals will be out of this world when you eat them off of the Star Trek plates. No festive gathering is complete without the ever-popular party tombstone. I want to pick up a few if you have any elderly relatives.
After partying with your tombstone, have a seat in this comfy cosmic chair. You know, I've seen a few episodes of Star Trek, and as far as I can recall, no one ever wears a picture of the spaceship on their shirt.
This, not too easy. Your guess is as good as ours.
Get a good night's sleep on these Star Trek sheets, and maybe you'll have nice dreams about being Captain Kirk, too.
And, of course, no collection is complete without the ever-popular Star Trek plush dolls.
These two could kick the crap out of Cabbage Patch Kids.
It's like baseball. Star Trek's like baseball. You sit down, if you don't know anything about baseball, and you sit down, you ever take your wife to a baseball game who doesn't know anything about baseball, and you sit there and you watch it, and it can be the most boring thing in the world, anybody who doesn't know anything about baseball. If you know some stats of the players, you know the history of baseball, you know the ritual involved in baseball, it can be one of the most exciting times in the most because you're like on the inside of this whole thing,
I have been, and always shall be, your friend. Live long and prosper.
So it's clear that Star Trek has been a fixture in our lives for over 25 years now, and we hope it endures for at least another 11. In the 60s, it helped shape a generation, and today it continues to contribute to the construction of the next generation. It's influenced millions and won the hearts as well as the praise of people all over the world.
By portraying a positive vision of the future, Star Trek has captured the imagination of millions and strengthened their support for space travel and exploration.
No one knows what wonders the 23rd century will really hold in store for us, but chances are most people hope it will mirror the Star Trek universe, a place where we've not only learned to interact with crazy outer space aliens, but also with the aliens among us.
That's right, Captain. Ride. Ride us into the 21st century.
It doesn't matter to us if it's James Tiberius Kirk or Captain Jean-Luc Picard who's at the helm of that ship, as long as we're aboard.
Thanks for joining our away team as we've explored strange new worlds and sought out new life and civilizations.
No question about it. We've definitely gone where no man has gone before. Until now, that is.
Well, I see we have another mission in a different galaxy, so I think it's best that we blast on out of here.
That's right, Matt. Good night, America, and remember, keep your feet on the ground and your head in the star. Trek, that is. I'm Noah Bells.
And I'm Matt Capiello. Please, live long.
Prosper.
That's all right. I can trust these guys.
Doesn't matter to us if it's James Tiberius Kirk or Captain Jean-Luc Picard who's at the helm of this ship.
That's right, Captain. Ride.
I'm sorry.
What? What is it?
Save it, please.
That's right, Captain.
No videotaping in here.
Is that right?
Yeah. You get your butt thrown right out.
It affects men, women, and children alike. It may even affect you. What? One more time.
That's right, Captain. Ride us into the 21st.
No.
Live long and prosper, Professor Thistle, and please give these guys an A.
Out of my studio.
Thank you.
All right, okay. Now get the fuck out of here, will you?